Greetings again, folks. I'm Ben Tannehill. You know that I love animation a lot, and you know what cartoons I like and what cartoons I don't. However, my tastes in cartoons have confused several people into thinking that I hate everything, or that I might like something that is similar to cartoons I like. Neither cases are true. Truth is, I love a wide variety of animation from comedy to fantasy to action. I have such diverse tastes that it's hard to predict exactly what I'm going to be into the next week. So, I figure that this will be a good opportunity for me to go into detail as to what exactly I'll look for when it comes to animation. I'd like to say that I'm picky, but I'm not picky. What that means is that I love to find cartoons that are what I'd like to see. For example, being a huge fan of the classic Looney Tunes, I love it when modern cartoons take up that same wacky and cartoony nature of the shorts. I think more cartoons should take advantage of the medium that they're in. When it comes to cartoons that I love, I notice that all of them have elements they share with each other. I'm a huge sucker of animated shows that take advantage of moments in which family members have bonding moments together. In this case, The Simpsons is a show that might have seemed like hell on earth for families during the early 90s, but once you get into it, you realize that the characters really do love each other, despite all the chaos that develops over time. Another show that uses this well is Gravity Falls. Dipper and Mabel are siblings that usually have sweet moments together, showing that they might argue sometimes, but they're always there for each other in the end. Being an optimistic person, I love when cartoons that are usually all over the place take time to settle down and acknowledge the happy qualities of life. We then move on to a big one, comedy. Now, comedy is one of those complex elements of entertainment that has a wide range of methods for making people laugh. As you've seen Ben T. Looney tear apart Adam Sandler and Seth MacFarlane's works, you can tell that when it comes to comedy, it takes a little more to impress me. My taste in humor is hard for me to explain, but I'll try my best. Basically, I just like comedy that actually centers around plots and characters. Talented storymen can get a lot out of what they have without resorting to constant references that reach out of the universe of their shows. Of course, when a good pop culture joke comes around, I can't help but to laugh. What is a good pop culture joke? Basically, one that you have to think in order to get. One that some people understand, but others won't. Rocky and Bullwinkle is one show that might require some people to do a little research in order to get some of the puns and people that the show would constantly poke fun of. And, as you know, I love physical humor. Sometimes, verbal humor isn't needed if you have the talent of good animators to put some great acting by the characters on screen. Whether it's something as subtle as the raise of an eyebrow or a sudden switch of emotions, physical humor is just a little thing that gets a big laugh out of me, if it's done correctly. We now move on to the big one for me, characters. I'd be the first to say that I am a character person. When I'm coming up with ideas for my own shows, the next step after the general plot is the character development phase. It's the same way for cartoons that I love as well. After I find out what the story is, if it sounds like something I would want to be interested in, I like to know who I'm going to be dedicating my time to for the whole series. The characters are the blood that keeps the show staying strong. It's rare when I put uninteresting characters aside in order to love the show, but the rest of the show really needs to try hard to fill that empty void. However, strong characters can also save a cartoon that's lacking in all other departments, and that's how important they are. In fact, it's the characters that actually bring me into the action shows that I like. Sure, the action is good and all, but truth be told, I didn't get into a show like Teen Titans due to its non-stop action. I got into it because I was practically a teenager when that show was airing, so I got caught up in the dilemmas that they faced, as they were similar situations that I had to deal with. Another example of the importance of characters is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Say what you want about this show, but I know you'd be lying if you said that you didn't know anybody in real life who share a character trait with the main 6 ponies. Bottom line, characters are the life of a show. That's why I made a whole video expressing why cartoon characters matter so much to us. They feel human because they are human. Now we move on to something that I rarely have to worry about, animation quality. While animation is a visual medium, I'm usually not too picky with how cartoons look. All I ask for is that it's appealing enough to the point that I don't mind looking at it for a long period of time, and that the animation isn't weak enough to affect the impact of the action. Of course, most cartoons don't get big enough budgets to match the feel of the theatrically budgeted classic cartoon shorts, but the show is usually able to make up for it with compelling stories and hilarious writing. That case is good enough for me. One final piece of information before I close out. When it comes to cartoons I love, I just love something that I can constantly watch and never get tired of. These are cartoons that have so much to offer that I see something new every time I watch them. Whether it's an abundance of jokes and gags, a complex storyline that requires multiple viewings to fully understand, or a cinematic feel that I just love to be blown away by, if an animated show has me saying, I'm definitely going to be watching that again sometime soon, then I know that it's doing its job. So, there's what I look for when it comes to cartoons I love. On the surface, I may sound like the hardest guy to please, but I just like to spend my time on the best entertainment I can find. I try as much as I can in order to see what I'll be willing to dedicate hours upon hours to. And when I find something that meets a lot of my demands, then I know that's something truly special. Animation is a medium that continues to fascinate me, and I always look forward to seeing what comes fresh out of the workshop next. I'm Ben Tannehill. See you later.